Welcome back, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, to the not funny show, Supercast. The Supercast, where we talk about all things superhero and pop culture media. That's, of course, video games, TV shows, movies. We talk about news and do some speculation, all that good nerdy stuff. I am Mo Pupe, your resident fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. Ladi, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Yeah. Oh man, I had a good weekend.
Yeah,
Really great weekend.
yeah, I did too. I got to go hang out with with my daughter, and also watched a bunch of cool stuff. Dude, I know you said not. You said I don't think so, but I finally decided to check out what was it called? Chainsaw Man. I checked out the first episode. It's interesting. I'm trying to decide if I should get back to it, but it's guy with a chainsaw coming out of his head. Like, I mean, I guess. uh, but anyway, this God, it's a momentous day in the world of superhero media. Uh, there's big new things going about. You know, Black Adam just dropped. It had a it had a pretty good weekend. Not, it didn't blow the doors off, but they had a pretty good weekend. Uh, but that brought about a bit of news. Speaking of the news, that's what we do here on the Supercast. We talk about what's going on with superheroes in pop culture media. And the news this week is short, but very momentous list. We got rumors about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the MCU. There's that big Henry Cavill announcement related to Black Adam. We got a couple Marvel trailers that we want to talk about: Quantumania and Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, and the big news of the day: big moves over at DC. Who's leading? Who's going to be the Kevin Feige for DC films going forward? Somebody we know, somebody we love. So we're going to get to that. That's the big news of the day. So, Ladi, you ready to roll into this?
Yes.
Let's get to it. So this real quick. There's a rumor. So regarding Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which of course is the Marvel TV, formerly Marvel TV, put out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it was like 7 seasons. The idea was it was going to be a TV show that tied into the MCU proper, the films, and pretty well received overall. Had Phil Coulson revived and brought back from the dead, all that stuff. Only problem was that Kevin Feige didn't acknowledge it ever. The movies acknowledged it never. That there's no connection as far as the movies are concerned. And so it's really kind of like this, redheaded stepchild of the MCU, wherein it exists but it doesn't, And because of that, at some point toward the end of the series, it decided to just kind of do its own thing and not worry about trying to tie into what the MCU was doing. Which, given that we have the multiverse saga going on right now, it would lead you to believe maybe it's a multiverse thing. We don't know. What does that have to do with anything? Well, according to Giant Freaking Robot, which, look, I'm not going to say they're totally reliable, but, this is a rumor they put out. And I said, Ladi, I want us to talk about this because I know you are a fan, right? And I know I'm a fan of this show. So the rumor is that Kevin Feige may be looking at a way to bring Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. into the MCU proper, fully acknowledged. Look, I'm not saying this is real. I'm just saying this is the rumor. Ladi, let's say it's true. How true do you think it is? And if it is, what's your thoughts?
Oh, I would love for it to be true. I would love to have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a good show. There was a few times that it connected to the movies. Like I can't remember what movie it was.
Mm.
Age of Ultron,
Yeah.
there was that Quinjet. Oh, not Quinjet. The helicarrier. Coulson is the one who was the one who deployed the helicarrier.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to say, like, just I'm not saying again that this means for sure, but we do have to consider the fact that Marvel, Marvel is definitely integrating Netflix in some way, shape, or form, even if it's a multiverse version of the Netflix shows. They're starting to integrate that stuff, and so maybe that's where they're aiming at here, some way to get them in. Especially because if they do, they then get access to some actually really cool fan favorite characters like Daisy Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
and Mockingbird, um, and you have Agent May, who have been integrated into the comics themselves. Um, I know I like this idea. I have no idea how they can figure that out because a lot of stuff that's in Agents of Shield don't match up with the MCU like at all. Like the season they went into the future and the Earth is blowed up. You know what I'm saying? Like that. How did they square that? Or maybe they just say whatever. It's they're the great thing about the multiverse is they could just be like whatever, or they just don't acknowledge any of that shit that happened and they just have some Agents of Shield. But the article does say like, well, how do they square with the fact that there ain't no Shield right now? See, um, who knows, Ladi? That's who knows what's going to happen there.
They can just make it a multiverse type thing.
I hope so. I mean, what's the point of having a multiverse where literally anything can happen when you're just like anything can happen except Agents of Shield? Anything else could happen. Marvel Zombies, that's cool. That's Agents of Shield, ridiculous. So
There's one more thing that I'm gonna bring back, and I will not end this crusade until it comes back. Hashtag Hit Monkey season 2. Where the hell is Hit Monkey?
oh
I
man,
want Hit
I'm sorry,
Monkey.
dude. You. I swear you are gonna be the last person beating that drum because if there's anything that's not gonna happen, it's definitely Hit Monkey. I think I was listening to Kevin Smith podcast, and he was pretty much I don't want to say he's putting a nail in that coffin, not specifically, but he was saying how when he was developing the Howard the Duck show that of course they canceled when Feige took over Marvel TV. He was saying that they were going to do something with Man Thing because Howard the Duck and Man Thing, traditionally they do sort of crossover at times, and they were like, nope, you can't. No, we're canceling it. You can't use that. You know what I'm saying? And that's because they were going to use Man Thing for Werewolf by Night, and so they were canceling all those things, but they only let Hit Monkey go. He was saying because it was already pretty well into development, so there's no reason, to cancel it after putting money into it, which is something I wish that DC would have thought about when they canceled Batgirl. And this because Hit Monkey was chump change, relatively speaking, and they still were like, nah, we already paid for this, so let's just go ahead and put it out, right?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they do that for Batwoman? So anyway, well, that's another story. But anyway, we'll find out. I'm sure. I think this is bullshit, but maybe it's true. If it is, we'll let you guys know in the future. Moving on, we got. You know what? Let's just go ahead and address something that I know makes you happy, and that is Cavill's return as Superman. We saw it in Black Adam,
Mm-hmm.
the man in the suit with that that strapping man in the red and blue with that black curl over it and a smile that says, "We got to work this out, or else I'm gonna have to kick your ass." So, to Black Adam, and the world's happy, right? More Superman. We've been hearing rumors about more Superman. That Zaslav really likes him and everything. Well, Henry Cavill made it official on Instagram that he's back, baby. He's back and not in black this time, thank God, but back in his regular blue and red suit. Nothing official though has been really announced yet. He's just saying there's going to be more in the future. Ladi, you saw this announcement. I'm presuming you're happy about it. So, what do you think? And how soon do you think that we're going to be getting something from Cavill as Superman?
Listen, I hope we get the earliest we'll probably get Man of Steel 2 is probably 2025 or 2026. So, I mean, we could get him in another movie, like if they ever decide to, maybe they could throw him in what's it called as well. Like he's inviting what's that guy's name to the Justice League. Maybe that's why they delayed it so they could get him to be the end cut scene.
Oh, I think I think it's very likely. I think it's very likely that Cavill shows up as a cameo in at least one other DC film. The most likely candidate is probably, I would say, Flash. It's the most
I can see him showing up again. I can see him showing up again in what's it called, Shazam, because Superman was in the original Shazam. It'll be only better for him to say, hey, you're ready to be a member of the Justice League now.
Absolutely. Yeah, actually, that makes a lot more sense even than the Flash. And that is coming out relatively soon. And trust, I understand. My understanding is that Cavill filmed this really recently, like last month, because that's the beauty of Hollywood magic. It takes almost nothing to get someone in for a day, suited up, and then or might not even suit up, just put them in, put them in a green screen suit and then digitally put the suit on them. It takes almost nothing for that to happen, which is very promising. I think the fact that he's straight up saying it, and The Rock is co-signing this, by the way, and it's on his social media, he is definitely co-signing the idea that Cavill is back. So even though there's been no official announcement, I can't see how that's not what's going to happen. Like, why would he say such things, and why would The Rock co-sign it if it wasn't, on the level? So overall, I think, my God, great. This is great. This is a great announcement for DC. It's a great thing for DC in general. It's about time to right this damn ship, and one of the best ways you can do it. And The Rock was pretty much saying this too. How the hell can you have the DCEU with no Superman? Right? Who? Walter Hamada, he's done. He's out. He's no longer running DC. That may be one of his worst damn decisions.
That is his worst decision.
I'm not a Walter Hamada hater. I'm pretty neutral on him, but saying no to Henry Cavill as Superman because Zack Snyder's vision for Superman was flawed is some of the most dumbass bullshit decision making possible, and it's ridiculous. That Cavill may be one of the redeeming qualities of Zack Snyder's vision, even though I think he was ill treated. The death of Superman was rushed. All that shit was rushed. But that has nothing to do with Henry Cavill's ability to portray him, because he was great in Man of Steel. Hell, I contend he was great in Batman v Superman and in Justice League. He just didn't have good material.
Mm-hmm.
So what the fuck was Walter Hamada even thinking about? Like, as you say, man that was born to play Superman.
He was born. This man was born to be Superman. The simple fact that he was just like, "Oh, let's find every possible way to get rid of him." It was just idiotic. It's just stupid. It's definitely his biggest mistake, and I'm sure he looks back and maybe regrets it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess he'll just have to be happy still being a millionaire because, and no
Yeah,
longer being in charge of DC. I'm sure. Well, you know what? I'm just happy. I'm happy that he's coming back. I want to see good things with Henry Cavill as Superman. So, let's be optimistic as we wait to see more announcements on that. We got some trailer reviews now. Uh, we got two trailers dropped recently, like in the last week. One of them was the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer. The other was the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. So I say, let's review Quantumania first. Uh,
hmm
we got what we had been hearing about this stuff from Comic Con and other things like that. The trailer, this trailer wasn't it, because I'd heard stuff about him threatening or semi-threat, Kang threatening Ant-Man or whatever, a little more stuff to it. This wasn't it. But what we did get was, well, I'll just say it straight up. It's a lot of damn CG in this. It's a
yeah,
ton of CG in this. Like, and it makes sense. We see them. Most part of it is, Scott walking around San Francisco and just being acknowledged like, yeah, you saved the world. And then, his daughter Cassie, who apparently is as smart as her dad, invents this little signal thing that goes to the quantum realm for reasons. I'm going to say for reasons because I can't imagine that there's an actual good reason to do that. And then suddenly they're sucked into the quantum realm, and there's all sorts of crazy creatures and weird vistas, and we see the Chronopolis. It's like this giant, awesome city that's apparently tiny, tiny. Bill Murray shows up and whatever, and then we get the man Kang himself. Um, just I want to say the first time I watched, I was kind of like, yeah, this is fine. This is a lot of damn CG up in this bitch. But the second time I watched it through, I was like, oh, okay, I get what's going on. I get what they're trying to get at here, and they're just trying to unveil Kang. That's really what's going on. This thing is to show here's this guy, trust us, he's bad news.
yeah.
And so I like this trailer, and I particularly like the Kang unveiling. Lottie, what do you think?
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. So first of all, the first thing I thought was like, "This is a dumb girl." Like, what? He's like, "Wait, you're sending a signal into the quantum realm?" Yeah. Like, did you not want to ask the person who spent like the last 30 years there? You know, like, did you just think, hey, this is just a good idea? Let me just try to impress everybody. And well, here we go. Everything's getting
she
fucked
she
up
she
now.
she basically fell for like a quantum a quantum phishing scam. She's just like,
Yeah.
but the prince of quantum Nigeria said if I would just give him our bank account and our address, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
Just uh yeah, that was dumb, but the visuals are actually damn cool.
Yeah.
And we get to see Cassie gets her suit, and of course that's gonna play into eventually. I don't care what Feige says, they're gonna do Young Avengers, damn it. So, but Kang, we got to talk about Kang, man. So comic accurate. That's we remember I was telling you last week, and that we've gotten to the point in the MCU where even the goofy shit gets to be on screen. Because if you think about the beginning of the MCU, the first 10 years, what was the goofiest thing that happened in that? Was the fucking Rainbow Bridge. That was the goofiest thing that we saw in all of the MCU's, first 5 or 6, movies. Everything else is just like, no, we got to be super real and super realistic. We got to make it sort of look like it could be really happening. And it's something that I lament because Now we're getting goofy ass shit like Thor: Love and Thunder, and even Werewolf by Night, and people are just like, this is just I want my serious superhero stuff, as if that's not one of the dumbest damn phrases. Serious super realistic superhero stuff. There's nothing fucking realistic about superheroes, right?
Yeah.
It's not. And Ant-Man is one of the least realistic, because he literally gets smaller than a fucking subatomic particle. That's not possible. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that they're just leaning hard into the Kirby-esque strangeness of the vistas and the bad guys and everything like that. Everything is weird, and it should be. And I'm glad that they leaned into that. I really am. Ladi, but for real though, Kang. It's my God. Yes, he who remains is a version of him, but it's pretty clear that this guy is no joke.
I thought, like, at one point in the trailer, I thought we saw the queen of Karen's herself, but I was like, oh no, that's just what's her name? That's Hank Pym's wife. But yeah, I was like, what's his name? He's trying to get swag points now for showing up like that.
Hey, did you even see on his face the line? On the classic Kang look where he's got lines down his face.
Mm-hmm.
You see that they are marked on his face. Like, so Kang's face actually has that. He even had like the little, purple face and everything like that. And I mean, come on, this dude ain't playing. Even the way he walks, he's just like, remember how He Who Remains was all kind of like, excited with like new possibilities, but he was kind of, jumping around a little. He was a little more jumpy. This guy's got swag. You were saying swag. Yeah, he is walking around like, I could kill every one of you. No problem. And he absolutely is. He's menacing.
It's like, I know who you are, Scott Lang. I was like, oh.
It's like, oh, somebody told you my government name? How dare you? Yeah, this, you know what? For a teaser trailer, didn't really tell us much about what's going on. But I can't lie. It looks interesting as hell. And I'm hoping that this is, the high point in the Ant-Man movies, because let me just say, Ant-Man has traditionally underperformed for an MCU movie, and there's no reason for that, because Ant-Man 1 and 2 are good. In fact, Ant-Man 1 is great. Ant-Man
1 was, yeah, I love Ant-Man 1.
And it's just because he's not like well known or anything, but like, I'm serious. He should be, I think he should, have a $800, $900 million movie. And I'm hoping that this is going to be the one.
I hope this is his Ragnarok moment.
I hope this is his $1 billion movie. I hope people get into it and are just like, you know what? We actually need to see this. Especially because, Kang Dynasty is going to come out of it. So I was very happy with this. Just, it took me a couple watches, but yeah, I was down with this one. So we also had the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special trailer. And I'd heard some stuff about what this was going to be about. It's essentially the Guardians and the other people on Nowhere sort of trying to do Earth-style Christmas celebration. And I was like, okay, that sounds silly. That might be fun for like 25 minutes or something. But this trailer was not at all what I was thinking it was going to be. Ladi, I mean, you saw this trailer. What the heck? This shit's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about it?
So first of all, this is the one that I have to say. Thank you, Marvel, for finally realizing the humans that live in the Marvel universe are not going to be shocked seeing aliens walk down the street.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Like, somebody in the like comment section was like, what, do they not care to see aliens walking? And I'm like,
they're in Los Angeles. Think about this.
Half the universe was gone.
They literally know there are aliens. Not only do they know there are aliens, they've seen them. They're from Asgard. They've seen people.
Yeah.
They've seen. Remember Korg? They've seen Korg before, right?
I mean,
There
they
was
had a
yeah.
planet-sized being who stayed in front of the Earth for 15 minutes. Hiroshima. They know.
That not only that. Well, think about this. Uh, Thanos and his army were on the Earth, and there was
Yeah.
the incursion into New York. Not only that, we saw in She-Hulk that more and more people are getting superpowers, right?
Hmm.
And so, yes, it's no big deal. Also, it's fucking genius to have them walking down in Hollywood where you
Yeah.
literally see people dressed up as superheroes all the time so tourists can take pictures. Makes sense. Um, that was I was like, that's genius. But of course it's genius because we know who created this, right? This is James
Hmm.
Gunn. If anybody's on top of their game, this man's on top of his game. Um, it's looks like it's going to be fun. Just almost a whole. Let's take the Guardians around real world Earth and Hollywood, LA or whatever, because they're trying to cheer up Peter Quill. And we're just gonna have we're gonna have Christmassy stuff going on. But that's great. I was like, this is cool. This is cool. But there's a point in the trailer that we reach, and I'm like, no, no. And then when it was yes, I was like, I laughed my ass off. And I had to watch this twice so I could actually catch what the hell happened in the rest of the trailer because I was laughing so hard. You know what it is, Lottie. You know what made me laugh?
The Kevin Bacon part.
Hell yes. You know what? 10 out of 10. I don't even have to see this. This thing is 10 out of 10 right now because of that Kevin Bacon thing. And I don't even need to see the rest of this to know I'm going to love this thing. Cuz only James Gunn could think to himself, "You know what? I'm going to get Kevin Bacon into the MCU." And like we'll be like, what character is he? He's playing himself, damn it. And he's getting chased by Drax and Gamora. What else? That's their present for Quill to get his hero Kevin Bacon. What else do you need, Lottie? What else do you need?
Nothing much else. It was funny. It was funny. I'm just happy that we no longer that the humans finally realize, hey, after so many times seeing aliens, we're not the only ones in the universe anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that that's finally
I mean,
being
yeah,
played upon.
I would love for one day for them to acknowledge the way the religions of the world and the philosophy of the world deal with the fact that that's true. But, whatever. That's too serious. We don't need serious. Remember what I was saying before? We need some goofy shit in the MC. I want this. I seriously, truly, really do want to steer away from this whole everything's got to be grim, dark, serious superhero stuff. I want to get the hell away from that. That is not the best thing about comic books. Comic books are fun and interesting to read because there's a lot of goofy ass shit going on that's just accepted as normal. And I want to normalize that stuff in the MCU. Like, people got mad about She-Hulk and how goofy it was acting with stuff. Good. It should be that way. That's the way the character was. There's Howard the Duck. Howard the Duck is a real person in the MCU. And he should be. We should see more stuff like that. This stuff right here, wait, I want zany ass crap going on. Because, I mean, if you're watching something where there's literally a dude with a purple nutsack chin, attacking, fighting hand to hand with Fat Thor, and you can't find some amusement in that sort of world, I don't know what you're watching any of this stuff for. What I say, it's just about having fun, man. And I think James Gunn's going to deliver here. So, God, that's coming out next. It's coming out on the 25th, so the day after Thanksgiving. That's going to be cool. So we'll be checking that out when that arrives. That's all of our news. It's time to get like this the real deal. Lottie, do you Do you want to do the honors? Do you want to say about the phone?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Somebody better pick up that phone.
Why?
'Cause I fucking called it. I called it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I was like, DC, if they want to get back, they need to throw bans. They need to throw them bans at James Gunn. James Gunn said he doesn't want to be in leadership position. You throw money in his face and say, how do you feel now? I don't know. Throw another sack. If he keeps throwing that money until that man finally says yes, and they finally got to that number where that man said, fuck it.
This just came across today. James Gunn is going to become co-chair, co-CEO with Peter Safran of DC Films after Walter Hamada, he's stepped down. I believe it's effective now, and so effective November 1st, they will take over as leaders of the studio. And it might, we were talking a couple weeks back about the whole futility of finding a Kevin Feige. And I was very animated. I said, hey, if you could find a Kevin Feige, you have gotten him by now. Right? And I stand by that. They couldn't find a Kevin Feige. They needed to find two people who equaled a Kevin Feige. And I'm not gonna lie, I honestly didn't think that James Gunn would step up to this, because he's a story guy. He really is. He's a story guy. He's got all these ideas, and right now DC loves him, and they're just like, they're giving him work. They gave him a movie. They gave him a TV show. He's getting a second season. He's developing some other things. I didn't think he had enough time on his schedule to do that, and also actually run a studio. But it turns out that you're right. They went to him and they said, hey, not you, but you and somebody else. And, before we talk more about James Gunn, let's talk about Peter Safran, who's been a producer. He's within the industry. He's represented people. He's been a producer. He's worked at Warner Brothers for quite a while. He's got his name as executive producer or producing credits on a bunch of superhero things and horror and so forth. Guy knows how to run the business side of movie making, which is what you need. That's the thing is, they need that guy. He's not, I don't want to say the bean counter, but they need a guy that at the top of the chart not only loves and knows the superhero stuff, which apparently Peter Safran's got a pretty strong basis within not just DC Comics, but comics in general. Got a pretty strong basis, but as far as business goes, he knows how to get movies made, right? He knows how to, how to get them completed. And that's important because James Gunn, we love him. His strength has been as a creative force, as a director, as a writer. That's his wheelhouse. So this is a perfect compliment for him. And you see that David Zaslav, he said straight out, he's like, we all we know they have a great vision. We can't wait to work with them. We're convinced they're gonna drive DC forward. And apparently this is a 4-year deal and all that. So I'm happy that Safran is part of this. I'd heard his name before anyway. I'm happy that he's a part of this because we need that kind of savvy, leadership on that side, on, the day-to-day working side of it. That's very important. And it gives me a lot of confidence that that's the sort of person that they went to really help make sure that these movies don't just get made well and on time and on budget. Cool. So all that being said, Ladi, I don't know that you've heard of this guy before, have you?
No.
It's fine. Good producers, they don't need their names to be known by people. They just need to get that money, right?
Yes.
On the other side, let's talk James Gunn. I mean, God, this makes the most sense in the world. And also, what a fucking coup. I mean, Marvel literally shit the bed on this one. Can we
Yeah.
say that? They shit the
Yeah.
bed on this one. Think about the timeline on James Gunn. Do you remember when he got fired? He got fired by Alan Horn, by the way, who right now is a consultant over at Warner Brothers, and probably is part of the reason why he got hired on at this. But remember, he got fired over some bullshit, and if it wasn't for that, he might be over at Marvel right now as one of, as the second in command in Marvel with the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, I saw this meme or somebody talked about this on social media. Some right wing asshole dug up some old ass fucking shitty jokes that he made that he had talked about, he'd already apologized for and whatever. Got him fired, and now we got great stuff coming in the future. Thank God for that dumbass piece of shit that tried to cancel James Gunn. Because look where we are now. And Marvel, really, they fucked up. Because of that happening, James Gunn went to DC, did some cool shit. They liked what he's doing, and they made him a sweetheart deal. And look where we are now. Ladi, just how bad of a fuck up was that?
And he's the reason why Guardians of the Galaxy is even a popular like, characters. I mean, this was a complete colossal mess up. I don't know. Maybe they just thought he wouldn't do it, but now he's gone. The Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the end. And it's probably Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Guardians of the Galaxy will probably die with it, unfortunately, because isn't it like that's the end of all the like people's contracts?
Well, I would say that. I mean, obviously they can renegotiate or whatever, but you'd have to think they're tight. Like, by the way, James Gunn, we already sort of know this. The people that he works with on films, they're in tight with him. Like, I was just watching Slither over the weekend. His first direct, major, I guess, picture directorial debut. And I was like, oh shit, Michael Rooker is one of the stars of that. Michael Rooker is also in Guardians, right? He Michael Rooker even showed up in the Suicide Squad briefly. He has a tendency to, once he works with people and he has a good working relationship with them, they keep working with him. So maybe we'll see them show up in a DC thing. Like, it's not a Drax. Dave Bautista very well could be in the DCU. That's what I'm talking about. Like, when I say this is a fuck up on Marvel's part, that one shitty decision that they made years ago means that he won't be doing anything MCU for at least 4 years, and maybe longer depending on how well this goes. That's crazy. It's ridiculous, but we win. Like, because of this, Ladi, the fans won. I think this is more of a win than even Cavill coming back as Superman. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And oh my God, there's so much to talk about as far as like him being part of it. I'm just amazed. Just amazed. I'm just so damn happy about this. Because I mean, James Gunn, he may be my favorite superhero like director right now, like of just in general. I mean, he made Peacemaker. But pretty much, the Suicide Squad was awesome. He made Peacemaker as one of the best damn superhero things, period. I don't see how this could possibly go wrong, especially now that he gets, along with Safran, they sort of get to do the Feige thing where they get to decide, I like this, I don't like this. And I'll say this also, you could not ask for a more knowledgeable comic book person. It's clear this guy, he knows what he knows and what he knows. He knows it down all the way into, because he made nobody's into somebody's, you know? I mean, and he and Safran got the DC, all of DC films to get in order, including a lot of it's not connected to anything. The Batman is its own thing. Joker is its own thing. The DCEU, or they call it the DCU now, that's its own thing. Animation, that's another thing, right? And they have an opportunity to kind of sort all of that out into a way that makes sense. It doesn't have to be, to me, I hope they don't do the MCU thing where everything's connected. But also that where it all makes sense within the context of the DC umbrella. So, oh gosh. Okay, I've been talking a lot. Ladi, you share your thoughts because I could go on and on.
I mean, I pretty much said what I had to say. I am ecstatic because I've been saying that we need somebody like James Gunn in DC.
Oh my God! It's just why between that and Cavill, I'm not saying I doubt he's going to be doing much. He's still going. Apparently, he's still also going to be making TV and movies because obviously he still has Peacemaker season 2, and he's got another, a couple other irons in the fire. I'm just thinking about Henry Cavill being well served by the fact that James Gunn is, involved in the creative process with Superman. We're gonna get a Superman that James Gunn has had his fingerprints on, and God, if that doesn't make you excited, I don't know what will rev anybody up except that. And of course, Black Adam 2, I think is probably gonna happen. There's a Harley Quinn. There's so much going on here. Hell, think about any second level superhero that we just haven't seen yet because DC can't get their shit together. Now that's possible. A Green Lantern. Are they going to get Green Lantern together?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's just so much. I love this. What fans? We've won. You know what? Even the Snyder stands. Even you won today. Because parts of the Snyderverse are sort of integrated into James Gunn's vision of the DC universe. And so we
won't be surprised if they rehire him.
Snyder, Gunn and Snyder are friends.
I will not be surprised if they rehire him.
But I want Snyder to work from somebody else's script. I do not want Zack Snyder writing his own shit again.
Yeah.
Because, the last, James Gunn wrote the Dawn of the Dead remake from 2003. He wrote it. Zack Snyder directed it. Great movie. I want something like that. I'm fine. I'm totally fine with Zack Snyder's, directing. I just don't like his writing much, and I would like somebody else to do that now. And I want to see James Gunn and Peter Safran do what Marvel's doing, which is getting a stable of good screenwriters. First of all, get a story group, so everyone can be coordinated. But to get a stable of good screenwriters that they can reliably go to, to crank out these good movie scripts, right? And then James Gunn, because he's a director, and because Peter Safran has been working around, filmmaking for so long, they'll be good at vetting directors that can bring these, because one thing that Marvel does well is they recognize talent early on before they're too expensive to put onto a movie, right? Or they recognize someone who's already established, but that really wants to make something superhero related, and they get them in there, and they work them into the system. That's something they need to get the stable of writers, some go-to directors, right? And then just start picking stuff out of the DCU, the DC canon, good storylines that they can adapt, and good characters that have yet to be exploited. Because as much as I love the big three, god damn it, can we get another fucking movie that doesn't involve them? So, anyway, I think the sky's the limit here. We will be watching very closely and with much interest as November 1st comes around and the new era in DC films begins. I have very high hopes. I think we're in for some good times over the next decade. So anyway, that's all of the news for this week. Big news week, even with a few items. So what did you guys think about all of our news items? Did we miss anything? Did you agree, disagree? Any of that stuff? Get down to the comment section. Let us know your thoughts. Of course, you can always hit us up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunnys1 on Twitter. And do us a favor, get down there, hit like on this video. Helps with the algorithm. And join the Super Not Funny Show family. We'd really appreciate that. Hit the notification bell to let you know when we drop new content. And I'll also, before I move on, I did want to make a note of a milestone reached by the channel. I know we've been at it for a while, and I'm not very good at advertising or whatever, but we passed 100 subscribers, Ladi. We're at 102 subscribers right now, so we must be doing something right. That's cool. We're really happy that everyone who has subscribed has done so. Thanks for listening. Thanks for just generally showing love. Speaking of showing love, I can't do this show by myself. Ladi helps me out tremendously. So, Ladi, where can they reach you on social media?
You can find me on my Instagram, which is Anukinihun. It's, again, Anukinihun, ANUKINIHUN. Again, it's ANUKINIHUN. And, of course, you can also find me on my YouTube channel, which is Kinihun25. I'm going to get back into uploading content. Just been doing busy, a little bit busy with life, but it's going to come. Just be patient with me and everything will be back up.
Yeah, you guys go check out his socials. Show some love, like, subscribe. You know what to do. All right, all you Fabricans and Fleshbags, thanks for joining us on the 73rd episode of the Super. I can't believe that. I'm saying that. 73rd episode. We're coming up fast on 75. So come back next week. Join us. We're going to talk about more of the superhero stuff. Till then, I've been Mo Coupe, your resident Fabricant and comic extraordinaire on all things pop culture, joined by the anime expert, video game designer, lover of all things superhero, my good friend Ladi. We'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.
Peace.